Welcome to today's video. I just made myself a matcha. I went through such a long period of time without making matcha and I missed it so much. But anyways, today's video I am going to be talking about my relationship, talking about relationship advice, and that's pretty much it. I'm also gonna do my makeup and kind of get ready while I'm talking about this because I'm a little nervous. Guys, I'm a little nervous to be talking about this. I feel like I've never really talked super openly about my relationship. I mean, obviously you guys know that I am in a relationship, but I haven't talked about it. So anyways, I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very excited. I asked you guys to ask me some questions on Instagram and I got some really good questions that I'm excited to talk about. Also, I have a pimple in literally the worst spot, so I'm leaving the little star patch on. Please ignore it. I'm insecure, okay? So the star is staying on my face. Also, do you guys like my earrings? They're from Ana Luisa, which is the sponsor of today's video. If you guys haven't heard of Ana Luisa, they are a jewelry company that sells long-lasting, tarnish-resistant pieces. Their jewelry starts at $39 and they have so many cute options. Clearly, I'm so obsessed with these earrings that I got. They offer free and fast shipping within the US, and even if you're outside of the US, they offer really affordable shipping options. They also offer easy exchanges if you end up not loving the pieces that you get, and there's also a 2-year warranty on all of their products. But I wanted to show you guys the pieces that I picked out. We've got both of these earrings. These first ones are called the Tia Medium Silver Hoop earrings. I feel like I never really branch out with my jewelry, but I've been a big fan of these recently. These ones are called the Venus Silver Endless Hoop earrings. As you guys can clearly tell, I am more of a silver jewelry girl, but Ana Luisa has some of the prettiest gold jewelry options as well. I got this ring. First of all, look at this packaging. Are you kidding me? This is so cute. But I got this ring. This is called the Rope Pave ring. One of my coworkers wears gold jewelry and I thought that this would look really pretty on her, so I figured I could gift this to her. I also thought that I would share my wish list with you guys from Ana Luisa because there are some other pieces that I really want to get. This first one is this silver heart necklace. I feel like I am in need of a statement necklace and this one is perfect. And then these earrings, I love the way that these ones look. I think it would look really cool. Wearing these earrings would make it look like I have 3 piercings. Also, this ring. I just told you guys that I am more of a silver girl, but I genuinely would switch all of my jewelry to gold just to get this ring. This ring is everything. It's so cool. I've never seen anything like it. It's just epic and I love it. I think it's so unique and pretty. But if you guys are interested in any of Ana Luisa's products, I have a link in my description that'll get you 30% off. They have so many good pieces. It took me forever to pick out the ones that I wanted. Thank you so much to Ana Luisa for working with me. And again, if you guys are interested, that link is in my description for 30% off. Let's get into talking about relationships, shall we? Like I said, I did ask you guys on my Instagram for some questions. I'll start off with the most popular ones. First one being, how long have you guys been together? First of all, I feel like I need to introduce my boyfriend. He's been in a handful of my videos. I've never like properly introduced him, I don't think, but his name is Sebastian and we've been together for a little bit over 2 years. We also live together, which is super fun. But yeah, we've been together for a little bit over 2 years and it's been great. We did long distance for 4 months, which I will talk more about. Yeah, 2 years. And the other most common question that I was being asked was, how did we meet? And I feel like the way that we met is a little bit complicated. Basically, if you guys don't know, I used to stream on Twitch and I made a handful of friends on there that I met up with in person a few times. We had initially met in October of 2021, super briefly. We were both in kind of 2 different friend groups from Twitch, and so my friend group had met up with his friend group for dinner. And I don't think we said more than like hi and bye to each other that first time, but that was like our very first time meeting each other. These same friend groups kind of merged a little bit and we all ended up going on a trip to Chicago in January of 2022, which is where we officially met. I don't know, like we both kind of just like liked each other right off the bat. It was love at first sight. We met officially in Chicago and then after that trip I was coming back to see him. He lives in LA, which is why I was going to visit LA all the time. And during that time I was still going to college in Idaho, so I was booking flights to LA all the time. But I was coming to visit Seb for like 4 months before we started dating, which is kind of crazy of me, booking flights for someone that I'm not even dating, but it was such a fun time. So I was coming to visit him for 4 months until we started dating. We started dating officially in April of 2022. Then I moved to LA in August. Honestly, I don't remember the reason that I told you guys that I moved to LA, but the main reason was so that I could be closer to Sebastian. And now here we are living together and it's epic. That was pretty much how we met, just through a mutual online friend group, and the rest was history. The next question is how to not have trust issues with your partner. Now this is quite a difficult question, I feel like. If they choose Okay, sorry, I had to step away for a minute. I'm not kidding. Literally anything that has to do with water upstairs, it's so freaking loud down here, and it's so annoying. Obviously, he's just doing like his daily duties. He's just doing whatever he needs to do, but to live in an apartment with thicker walls, I wish. Completely lost my train of thought. I don't really know what the last thing I said was, but I feel like I was kind of all over the place with the last question anyway, so let me just start over. Let me simplify it as much as I can. The question was how to not have trust issues with your partner. Basically what I was saying is that I kind of went into the relationship that I'm in now with trust issues because of past experiences that I've had. One of my first relationships, I hate to even call it a relationship. I feel like it was so stupid, and I don't know, I feel like I was so disrespected in every like situationship relationship that I have been in that is not my current one, that it's like embarrassing to admit. You know, that's what the internet's for. It's to overshare. Let me tell you just a few things that I dealt with in previous relationships. Oh, it's so painful to even like refer to that situation with that word. Let's just say that my first ever involvement with somebody, their ex-girlfriend was their number 2 best friend on Snapchat the entire time that we were dating. That's so weird, so weird. Yeah, basically any previous relationships that I have been in, I have always been the second choice. I've never been somebody's first choice, and so I think I went into my current relationship kind of just expecting the worst. I was like, oh, like there's probably another girl. There always is. I don't know anything different. I went into this relationship with so many trust issues already. Figuring out how to not have trust issues was definitely a process. You know, the biggest thing is time. Obviously, everything always takes time, but also setting boundaries is super important. I feel like for me, the second that I set boundaries, I was able to kind of just relax. I'm thinking back on the way that I used to like behave at the beginning of my relationship now, and it was so toxic and awful for my mental health. Setting boundaries is absolutely one of the best things that you can do in a relationship. For me, I feel like once you set boundaries, you can just let everything go, and if your partner decides to cross those boundaries or disrespect you in any way, then they're just proving that they're not the person for you, and that's totally fine. You can move on and find somebody that will respect your boundaries. I'm gonna freak out. An example of a boundary that I feel like really helped with just my trust anxiety was with like Instagram and stuff, because I feel like nowadays in relationships it is so, I don't know, social media can just be so awful. One of the boundaries that I set in my relationship was to just not look at, like, or comment on anything that you wouldn't look or like or comment on right in front of me. And I feel like that's fair, that's valid. Like if you're not gonna do it right in front of me, why would you do it at all? And obviously I'm not gonna like monitor what my boyfriend's doing on social media. You know, if he wants to look at stuff, he can, but he knows that I have that boundary set, and so if he decides to cross that boundary, that's on him. I can't be spending my time and energy worrying about it or like stalking social medias. It's literally does nothing but hurt you. Set your boundaries. Just relax. And let me tell you, it is way easier said than done. I feel like it took me so long to actually just like chill out in my relationship, but it's because I was so scared of like losing my boyfriend or like getting cheated on or there being another girl. Like I was so terrified of that, and so would keep myself up at night, spend way too long on social media, and for literally nothing. It did nothing but exhaust me and make me feel worse. My best advice for getting over trust issues is to just set your boundaries, and if your partner genuinely likes you and respects you, then they'll listen to those boundaries. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like that was a lot. Next question asks, is it normal to argue often? I feel like argue is a strong word. Well, I think everyone defines arguing differently. Disagreements in a relationship are common, but like arguing and being like really mad at each other, I feel like is a different story. I feel like Seb and I have never really like fought or like gotten in a super heated argument. Everything that happens between us is more of like just a disagreement that can be solved just through communicating. So I feel like for this question, it really just depends on your definition of arguing. I think slight disagreements and like bumps in your relationship are completely normal, but as long as you are talking it through and not just like pushing it to the side and never talking about it again, I think it's okay. But take that with a grain of salt, okay? I don't know. Also guys, I got cookies from Trader Joe's. I want one. Shut I didn't expect this to be so good. Wow, yummy. Next question. What are your favorite dates to go on? I love this question. I think it's so cute. My favorite dates to go on are probably movie theater dates or just going to dinner. I love food. I love going to restaurants. It's like one of my favorite things ever. I would say either like trying new restaurants together or going to see movies. Next question asks, what's the most challenging thing about living together? I feel like the most challenging thing about living together is figuring out how to prioritize quality time together, because obviously we're together 24/7. We live together, like I see him all the time, but we don't necessarily, like, my hands are slippery, I can't open my blush. It's definitely harder to spend quality time together, and I think we're both still learning how to balance that. Seeing each other all the time and spending quality time together are two very different things. I think it's important to set aside time to either go on a date, I don't know, just like spend time together that's not just like us doing our normal things throughout the day. When you're living together, going on a date and like setting aside time specifically dedicated to each other is very important. And that's something that we're still working on. Living together is definitely an adjustment. Someone asked, how do you deal with the bad/tough days together? Literally just talking it out. We see each other's bad sides a lot, obviously, because we're together all the time. I feel like Seb sees mine more often than I see his. I don't know. I get stressed out very often. And when I'm stressed, I feel like I take it out on the people that I'm closest to. Same thing happened to me when I was living with my parents at home. If I was ever stressed, I would take it out on my mom. It sucks. Like, I hate that I do that. I think just learning how to comfort each other and make sure that we're okay mentally every day is important, and just, I don't know, it takes time to learn what we need from each other. Just learning the best ways to help each other out on our bad days. Girl, I need to take a break. I don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what your partner needs, you know, if I'm super stressed out and Seb has no idea how to help me, obviously it's gonna be really tough on him, and then I'm not gonna feel better because it seems like my partner's mad at me. And once you know how to communicate with each other and you know how to help each other, it makes it a lot better. Just little things that you know really help out your partner. Keep those in mind. Next question is, how did you guys manage doing long distance? I'm not the best person to answer this question because we didn't do long distance for a super long time, and even during our long distance, we both knew that I was going to be moving here soon. There was always an end to the long distance in sight. We knew that long distance wasn't permanent, so I feel like that's kind of what got us through it. I also was visiting him super often, which I know not everybody is able to do in long distance relationships. All of my money I was spending on plane tickets and just coming to see him, but we also made sure to call each other every night. We'd get on Discord, watch a movie. Prioritizing time for the other person is probably the best thing that you can do in a long distance relationship. I feel like our long distance compared to a lot of other people's long distance was very easy. Someone asked how to handle retroactive jealousy. I'm not kidding. I think my experience with retroactive jealousy was one of the worst times in my life. I think that played such a huge role in my mental health declining. Retroactive jealousy is so awful, and if you guys have ever experienced that, I'm here to tell you it does get better. If you guys don't know what retroactive jealousy is, it's basically jealousy towards an ex-partner of your partner. It's so exhausting. It's awful. And again, I feel like it's the same thing with the trust issues. Like, it just takes time to get past it, but also I think something that really helped me is kind of just talking about it and being honest with how I was feeling. And obviously it's really annoying for like him, for me to constantly bring up his exes and like asking all these questions, and I don't need to know anything about that. I don't think everybody experiences retroactive jealousy, but if you do, I feel for you. I'm so sorry. I think time was the biggest thing for me. Constantly reassuring myself that there's a reason that he's not with these girls anymore. This is a really hard thing to talk about. Oh, this is scary, guys. I'm scared. I feel like for me, I compared myself to the way my boyfriend's exes looked. They're all so beautiful. I don't know. I think for a long time I was just constantly comparing myself and wondering like, what do they have that I don't? Which is so dumb because obviously he's not with them for a reason. Like, he's with me for a reason, and I shouldn't be trying to figure out what these other girls have because clearly he's not with them anymore. You know, it's just a messed up mental thing. I think taking time to just build my own confidence was was really helpful too. I was very insecure at the beginning of my relationship, and so working on my confidence, reminding myself that I am also beautiful was very helpful for me. Yeah, I struggled a lot with comparison, like so bad, actually so bad. It was awful. It takes time. Focus on self-care, focus on building your own confidence, remind yourself that you are also beautiful and that there's a reason that your partner is not with these people anymore. Someone asked, when is he gonna pop the question? Listen, guys, I still feel like I'm 16 years old. Like, I do not feel old enough to get married anytime soon, and Seth feels the exact same way. I know that we both want to be completely done with school. We want to be financially stable, and I think the question is a good 5 years away. Okay, I'm in no rush. I don't know when he's gonna pop the question, but I know it's not anytime soon. Do you guys have opposite gender friends? Yes. This was an interesting question to me, and I do have some thoughts on this. I think having opposite gender friends is actually very important. I have had guy best friends my entire life. You get to know like the behaviors of guys and girls. I feel like it's not really something to be threatened by unless it's suspicious. I don't know, this could be very controversial, but I feel like I would only feel some sort of way if it was a girl that he was hanging out with like more often than me and getting closer to than he is with me. Enough of that, but I think having opposite gender friends is a green flag. That is pretty much all of the questions that I got. Hopefully I made sense. I feel like I was really rambling in this video. If you guys have any more questions for me, just leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to answer. And if you're still watching, comment down below. Comment any of the hearts emojis. So thank you again to Anna Luisa for being the sponsor of today's video. Again, that link is in my description for 30% off if you guys are interested. I also wanted to give a little reminder that if you are struggling in a relationship or struggling with your confidence or anything, just remember that you deserve the absolute best and that you should not put up with anybody's bullshit. If somebody is disrespecting you, take that as a sign and go find somebody better. Know your worth. I'm manifesting that all of you guys get in the best relationships that you could ever ask for. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.